Hi, welcome to another flute review. We're going to be taking a closer look at one of the flutes from my collection. This flute, for me, is a little bit unique. It's made by Brad Young of 4 Wind Flutes. I'll put all of the contact information and everything down below this video in the description box, along with measurements and all that type of thing. But the basics behind this flute are that it isn't tuned the way most of the Native American style flutes are done in our modern times today. And that was supposed to have been developed, started, initiated, however you want to say that, by Michael Graham Allen. He went by Coyote Oldman. And he had reportedly thought that a basic pentatonic scale, such as was used in, I guess, a typical shakuhachi flute, would be the easiest for most people to deal with. So most flutes today, modern Native American style flutes today, are made in what has come to be known as a mode 1/4 flute. And let me see here. This would be that typical scale, just the basic scale. Key of G, and I held that third hole down and kept it down as I went up the scale. This is made in what is known today as a 2/5 scale flute. And we're going to keep this second hole from the bottom closed. It's more of a pentatonic major scale. So a lot of people that want to try to emulate some of the older traditional style playing or songs, which I don't know any of, I'm sorry, lean towards trying to find one of these mode 2/5 flutes, or to try to play the major scale on a typical Native American style flute. I'm going to use this one because it's a little quieter than the first one I played. Same key, G. So instead of playing this scale, they would play the same basic scale but start up one finger in the relative major scale. in this case on a G flute. So this doesn't mean that you have to go to that higher note. It starts on the lowest note, that the relative major scale that I played on that last flute does not, but that's okay. So this is thought easier to play those major scales and some of the traditional type songs. The one song that is historically suggested to play easier on this flute is Amazing Grace. It eliminates the half hole on that bottom note and still allow you to play it with all of the norm, what I call normal notes. Some people skip that half hole in playing Amazing Grace on a typical mode 1, mode 4 flute. So for those people that are looking for a flute that has maybe a little bit more of the older styling in the way that it's tuned and set up to play, the Mode 2.5 flute might be something that you might want to look at. This has a pretty small bore size in comparison with a typical, let me get, this is the first flute that I ever owned personally. And this was a kit flute made by Dwight Lind of Quiet Bear Flutes. And it has a much larger bore size. Won't quite fit inside. But that's on this particular example. I don't know that all Mode 2.5 flutes are made with a smaller bore in relationship or in comparison to a Mode 1.4 flute. But I do know that Brad Young does his this way. Beautiful sound, real sweet. cool flute. Fun to play. I learned how to play a couple of different major scales on a standard mode 1 4 flute. So this isn't the first flute that I usually grab, but it is one that many people have chosen to use for that type of playing. And I do think it is a lot easier for them, especially if you have trouble with that half hole on the bottom, to try to play Amazing Grace on a regular mode 1, mode 4 flute in what I'm going to call the first position. This does have a raised nest. It has the flue in the flute body. It does have a small chimney. The wings extend the full length of that true sound hole, and the true sound hole looks to be almost a 1/4 inch long and about 5/16 wide. Breath hole is fairly large in comparison to the rest of the flute. It's about 3/8 of an inch. Maybe not quite, but it looks to be about 3/8 of an inch. And the block has a slight upturn to it, kind of a traditional bird style block, I would say. This flute is made from cherry with walnut end caps and block, and it has 2 holes drilled into the block for the leather ties to go through the block. I really enjoy when flute makers take the extra time and care to do that, because when you're trying to tie on a block again, the ties, they're on the block already and you can just kind of slip it down and then tie it. To me, it makes life easier quite often when you're trying to retie a block on after playing it and trying to dry off the inside of the flute. Beautiful flute. It does have some kind of beauty lines cut at both ends, right kind of at the end cap. It has his little maker's mark right here at the base end of the nest for 4 wind flutes. Beautiful, beautiful workmanship. He has beautifully sanded and smoothed, and I'm not sure what type of finish he uses, but nice and smooth. It has a fairly gloss type finish instead of a matte type finish, which I guess I don't have a super big preference, but I do tend to like the looks of a gloss finish flute versus a matte finish flute. I think it just enhances the beauty of the wood. My own personal thoughts on that. So a mode 1/5 flute. They're fun to play. Something a little bit different that you might want to think about adding to your collection. There are a few makers making this different type of tuned flute. I think it's well worth adding or looking to add to your collection if you haven't already. It's a different feel. It gives you some different inspirations to add into your music if you have ever felt like you're in that rut and kind of hitting that wall and playing the same thing over and over again. This might be a fairly easy solution to avoiding that problem or getting around that problem, because it does make you think a little bit differently. Beautiful sound, beautiful workmanship, very interesting playing a different scale on this. Take a look at them if you haven't already. I want to thank you for tuning in and watching this quick and fairly in-depth flute review of a Mode 2.5 flute, this one from 4 Wind Flutes by Brad Young. Again, his information is down in the description box below. And if you haven't quite yet, please subscribe to my channel. Click the little bell right down over there also so that you're aware the next time I post a video. It could be doing a review on a flute. It could be doing a music video where the flute kind of takes center stage. Could be solo, could be with other instruments. One thing I haven't done quite yet is to play this flute with a little bit of reverb. I think we should do that right now. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day. Take care.